When I was 6, my family moved to the city of Hyderabad, and Vivek was my new neighbor. He quickly became one of my closest friends. He and I would run along the road, we'd play soccer in the evenings, and race our bikes down the nearby hill. At that age, I thought we had a lot in common. But our lives couldn't have been more different. I lived with my family in a small brick apartment with running water and electricity. Vivek lived in the field next door, in a tiny shack made out of tin sheets and tarpaulin. For water, Vivek and his sisters would walk a mile every day to collect it from the tank. At night, they would burn wood scraps to keep themselves warm and cook. While I was in school learning about history, math, and science, Vivek would spend his days collecting wood and water for his family. While I had the benefit of clean air at home, his home was surrounded by thick gray smoke from the burning wood. I really wanted to help Vivek, but I didn't know how. So I asked my mother, and to my surprise, she offered to pay for his school and even found one that he could go to. But his family had to decline our offer. Their lack of access to energy meant that Vivek had to stay at home and help his family. I was 10 when I first learned that there simply wasn't enough energy to go around. When I wasn't playing with Vivek and other friends during the school year, I would often visit my Uncle Mohan's rice farm. Just like over half the farmers in the country, he and his family lived off a small plot of land, about the size of an average McDonald's parking lot. In India, the government offers free electricity to all farmers. But that promised electricity is extremely unreliable. Because of this, sometimes he couldn't pump enough water to his crops. Other times, if the pumps were left on, the crops would be flooded. Either way, this meant that he would end up having to discard about half of his rice supply each season. And without enough rice to sell, he couldn't send my cousins to better schools or afford healthcare. Again, I wanted to help, but I didn't know how. It seemed that there simply wasn't enough energy to go around. At that age, I couldn't help Vivek or my uncle. But as I grew older, I became determined to help others like them. At college, I studied energy systems. After college, I worked for a large energy company. And I learned a lot from these experiences. I learned that Vivek is one of 2 billion children who rely on dirty sources of energy. 2 billion children who breathe in dirty air and face asthma and other chronic lung diseases. 2 billion children who are unable to go to school because they have to collect scraps of wood. 2 billion who do not have the opportunity to rise out of poverty. I also learned that my uncle is among hundreds of millions of farmers who struggle to make ends meet because of an unreliable energy supply. The scale of this problem is daunting. But this isn't the first time that we've enabled large-scale change. Think about the mobile banking revolution in Africa. For decades, millions of Africans did not have access to banking services. They couldn't hold money in an account, they couldn't transfer funds, and they did not have access to credit. But a few innovative companies realized that while they didn't have access to banks, they did have cell phones. And this started a revolution. Millions of families now have access to financial services, even in remote parts of the developing world. Access that has dramatically changed their lives and helped them rise out of poverty. What we did for access to financial services, we need to do for energy. Mobile banking started with the simple idea that traditional banks need not be the only solution for financial access. We need to find similar no-bank solutions for energy and apply those learnings. First, we must identify the real need. For financial services, the need was not for a traditional bank, but for an easy way to transfer funds and have access to credit. For energy, we need to identify those fundamental needs and build innovative solutions around them. The company Embrace, founded by Stanford Business School alum, understood this. For parents with premature babies, the real need was not for expensive, energy-intensive incubators in city hospitals. They simply needed a way to keep their babies warm. So Embrace came up with an at-home, low-cost infant warmer, saving over 100,000 lives in the process. When it comes to energy access, we need more companies like Embrace, which understand those fundamental needs and build innovative solutions around them. Second, we need to use existing technology to address these needs. We have so much amazing technology here that we simply need to find a way to apply it to the developing world. Take Flybird, for example. This company co-opted decades-old sensor technology to build a device that regulates the amount of water and fertilizer that's delivered to a crop. This device solves the exact need that my uncle had and is built on existing technology. When it comes to energy access, we need companies like Flybird, which build solutions on existing platforms. Lastly, we need to start solving small local problems and not just large systemic ones. Mobile banking started by creating solutions for families, not countries. If we had waited for mobile banking and just banking services to expand, we would have lost the opportunity to serve a whole generation of the population. Systemic change is slow, but small-scale change can start today. Microgrids are a great example of one such solution. These grids are built in remote areas and provide energy access to small communities. A whole series of such no-bank solutions can help Vivek and other families light their homes and send their kids to school. It can help my uncle and other farmers earn a living wage. This change is possible. Let's make it happen. Because the truth is, there is enough energy to go around. We simply need to find the right way to get it there. Thank you.